He was the most famous actor in South Africa. He was my best friend. As kids, we acted together in a popular film, and after that, we grew up together. As South Africa went through its struggle years, so did we. And for Muntu, most of the trouble had to do with love.
We'll need to run away where no one can find us.
Get better.
This march is illegal!
Police are looking for you and your Ford Capri all over.
Your life's hanging by a thread.
Are you here to kill terrorists, Knox? No, Sergeant Major!
I'm gonna stay in here until you've sweated every last black drop out of you.
Sabella's gone. I've come to rescue you.
They'll kill you.
I won't let them treat you like a slave, Sabel. Listen, I need to come see you.
Don't ever call me again.
Norman!
Lollipop was a huge success, not just because it was seen by a lot of people, but it was a tribute to a young man who saved my life when I was 14 years old. And there will be a big audience out there that obviously wouldn't know the story of a lollipop. But the story of A Million Colors continues the friendship between Muntu Ndebele, the young actor that starred in A Lollipop, and his co-star Norman, who is now played by Jason Hartman.
Listen, my man, before we go, the phone company, they gave us the grants. We're going to college, my brother.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. Parties, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Can we get 2 tickets, please? I said 2 tickets.
Sorry, what's only?
The more I found out about Muntu's life, a true story of someone who had been at the top and had gone on a slow descent to the bottom, but along the way had a series of very tension-filled adventures and dangerous situations and incredible romance and love in his life. That was love found, love lost, and it just had all the elements of what we love to see in movies, you know. And I thought, if this is something that we can do, I'd love to be a part of it, and I was.
Inkosi uPatrick Vilakazi icela ukuthi umuphi isandla emshadweni.
Oh baba, ngiyacela.
Inkosi ifuna ukuthi wena ube inkosikazi yayo. Akekho umfana la eSoweto oyokhokha ilobona inkosi ifuna ukukhokhela lona.
Usho ukuthi ngidayisa baba?
Angidayisi.
Angeke.
Angeke?
Angeke ngikuvumele.
Sabela! Sabela!
Sabel, everything's going to be okay. Just come with me and have some tea in the house, and I'll take you home, okay?
It was an absolute kind of mandate that we had, that we were not telling a political film. This is a human story, human emotions about love and loss and friendship and redemption, and set against the backdrop of a very, important part of South Africa's history.
It was like the world was coming to an end. That day I will never forget because I lost a lot of friends. Some went to exile, some were shot dead, some are missing even till today. It was not safe for me and Norman to be seen together, you know. So I didn't know how to get hold of Norman.
Hello? Oh, thank God I found you.
I've been calling everywhere. I've called forever.
Listen, I need to come see you.
No way.
You won't believe what I've been through, Norman.
They failed all of us who must.
In Soweto, all right?
It's your fault.
You
And your lousy communist comrade.
What the hell's wrong with you, Norman?
don't understand. We had to.
We had to.
You go ruin your own life.
Stay out of mine.
Don't ever, ever call me again.
Norman!
You seem like you've had 6 too many.
6 too few. I lost a friend today. Norman is dead.
Dead.
Yeah, well, it might as well be. How could I be so wrong about someone?
I was so into this life of crime, alcohol, and drugs but I never lost hope on myself. So through hopelessness and frustration, then I turned to drugs and alcohol. Well, I'm not proud of that, but you know, it's life. You face it. But I'm thankful for God's grace that He has given me a second chance.
Eventually, an article in the Soweto newspaper got a reaction from numerous people who said, "You're looking for the star of a lollipop? We think we know where he is." And eventually it led us to a drug den in Hillbrow. When he was found, he weighed 34 kilograms.
Muntu is extremely hands-on, and at any moment he's there for me to rely on. So, and that goes all the way back to even before the script was written. He's here on set practically every day, and usually, you know, I look to him, and if I say, "Muntu, is that okay?" and if he says yes, then I know we're good. It was amazing to go literally step by step in some of the places that Muntu had been involved with in some incredible stuff, including, of course, the June 16th march. I mean, he took me step by step along that road to the point where the shooting started, and it was, you couldn't ask for better sort of first-hand research than that.
Well, we've got about 800 extras on set today. The school kids, which is the scene we're doing, is the riots of 1976. We're supposed to shoot in winter. It's not winter. So there's a variety of challenges for the art department. We had to lay dirt on the tar road. We had to get the period vehicles. It took us 2 weeks to plan today only.
We had hundreds and hundreds of young extras, and we want to make sure that they're treated well and treated safely, and safety first is always a priority. But more even significant is being, you know, honoring that historical event. And there's no point in doing it unless we can really do it right, to honor all those students from many years ago who were valiant in protesting, which led to eventually democracy in South Africa. It all started there, in a sense.
The challenge of scheduling a movie like this, where there is 20 years of time gap and different periods and looks, is that you've got to take into consideration so many different factors. For example, like the way the actor looks in a certain period and what needs to happen for that actor to look like that. So one tries to group certain looks together in order to cut down on time in makeup, etc., etc. For example, Jason Hartman was one of the biggest ones. We could only do the military base right at the end because it required having his hair shaved, and the rest had to be wigs. And once we had shaved his hair, we could never go back to what we predominantly shot with his own hair. So that was a big consideration. And it was only local labor that was used. The wealth was spread right throughout the local villages where we shot. So everybody got a piece of the pie. And then the same thing with the extras. Everybody in each village where we used extras, everybody got a turn to be an extra.
Bathi lo mlilo bokushiswa ngosabela sowufile manje sengizomlanda. Ngiyamfuna ngempela lo wesifazane. Yebo. Wengubo.
Bebet.
Amnika induku.
The funny thing about Muntu life is that there's no shortage of material to deal with. You know, it's like the from a story structure perspective, you know, the challenge is how do we condense such an immense life experience into a 2-hour film.
It's been fantastic working with Peter. He's really just lets you do your thing, you know. He's very open to suggestions, and although he knows what he wants, you know, he's very clear about what he wants. So if you're, you know, feeling like, you know, a certain thing might work in a scene and he feels it doesn't, he'll let you know in a very, you know, polite but firm way, you know, because we have to get on, and we you know, he sees the bigger picture at the end of the day. So he's definitely someone we definitely can, you know, put our trust in 100%. I trust him with everything I do on screen.
He lets you get comfortable in your character. He lets you come up with ideas and lets you do what's natural to you. And then after that, he will follow up and say, okay, actually, I think let's do it this way and that way. But it's great because it gives you a chance to also sort of think outside the box and see what you can do with the character. So it's not just Peter's way and no one else's way. So I love him for that. Yeah.
As a director, I'm always asking myself, what does the audience need to know at any given stage of the story? You know, if something happens in the film, what is the audience in Sweden? What is the audience in Italy? What is the audience in Toledo, Ohio in the States? You know, any place you go, what do they know at any given moment? And if I don't know it, then I need to find out, and I need to make it sort of understandable in a way that doesn't slow the story down, but at the same time honors what is important to understanding the political background. It's a constant balancing act. At the same time, you know, the entire crew making this film is South African. So it's an interesting situation where the director is Canadian, but the entire staff of the film making the film is South African. So I'm constantly relying on their answers to my questions, and it's a dialogue that I keep having throughout the film.
Casting a film like A Million Colors takes an awful long time. We recognized, Peter and I, our director, that it's going to take a very special young man to play Muntu. And Wandile has surpassed all our expectations.
Isn't this the car we stole for Bomba?
Women, children.
We have a very, very amazing cast, and you know, from the beginning, I said I can't make this film if I don't have Wandile Malabatsi in the role. I just can't make it because he's the only one. You know, I saw lots and lots and lots of actors, but he was it. He has a rare gift, you know, to express a kind of range that few actors can really pull off, you know, and the range in terms of he has to be the romantic hero, but he has to be a dramatic hero who goes on a downward spiral, and you have to still care for him even when he starts to make wrong choices.